Stuck right here were queen cells that I was using to requeen this hive. I had tin foil wrapped around them so that I could actually make the hive superseed. Superseding is what happens when the hive gets rid of its old queen with a new queen, while the old queen is still there. Yeah, they oust her. And so in this case, I raised queen cells from my VSH breeder queen, and I put them in here and I protected them with tin foil around them, so the old queen would not go over there and chew through the side, because that's their behavior. The old queen will chew through the side and kill a queen before it emerges from its cocoon.
That's what I would do.
So if you can prevent that, though, yeah, I know. So
obvious, isn't it?
As soon as you prevent that, though, and the virgin queen comes out, she's free to roam, and eventually she will do several things. She might just die. Who knows? Sometimes they get damaged while they're in the queen cell. Maybe I shook them up too bad when I moved them from the breeder to this. Or they will just kind of live under the radar for a few weeks, and she'll go out and mate, and she'll... So this is all stored honey.
Wow.
This is mostly old honey, so I didn't take it off. This is probably honey from either last year or even 2 years ago. So they just kind of crawl around. Anybody want to hold it? You hold them from the ears right here, and when you want to look at it, you just go up like that.
Yeah.
And then if you get stung, just don't drop it, because then you have bees that you'll step on because they'll be all over the ground. There you go.
Wow.
So it's pretty heavy because it's full of honey. It weighs like probably 5 pounds.
Beautiful.
And so so the beehives, they start out, there's honey on the outsides, and the queen is in the middle.
Okay.
You hope. 99% of the time.
You use queen excluders on all your hives?
No, I never use queen excluders.
Not even when you're making honey?
No.
I'd like to.
And what's your reason for not using queen?
Well, they cost a lot of money, for one thing. And then for another thing, they're a waste of time. But, well, at least for me, they kind of act more like honey excluders, because you put it right here, and then you have honey supers up there. I wish I saw some hives with honey supers on, but I took it off last week.
Yeah. What is that again?
A queen excluder is a little, I think I have one around here somewhere. In fact.
Well, is it to do your separation of, say, getting propolis pure, getting royal jelly pure, and getting honey pure?
Well, in order to produce propolis, you have a little screen that sits on top, and they fill it up with propolis.
Oh, they do.
In order to get royal jelly, you have like a sweatshop full of workers who sit there with little syringes and pull royal jelly out of the cells. We don't do that in the United States.
Which is...
we do it in China, and that's where all the royal jelly
now,
comes from.
show me again, like, where you're seeing, say, a royal jelly section.
I don't see any right here. In order to do royal jelly, you have to raise queen cells, because that's the only place there's enough royal jelly. I mean, all the bees sit in that white protein food, but it's not really royal jelly.
That's not.
If there's not enough of it anyway.
So
we can pass this around if anybody wants it.
Did you just slide this back in there?
Oh, people like it to make little pills and lotions and stuff out. Is that the honey one?
It's
So,
said to be
what we'll do with this, I
beneficial.
think, right now,
Healthy, I don't know.
I'll just set it aside so we can continue to
No.
This looks like a pretty healthy hive. I'm happy. This hive looked really horrible until I did that queen supersedure thing, and now it looks good. The queen was bad. I don't think it made any honey because it took that entire season to do the queen cell. Oh, this is eggs, so we might be able to find the queen here. You can just maybe hold on to it or set it down like that one is set. Just don't squish too many bees. I bet the queen is on this frame.
I bet you're right.
Either that or the frame next to it. But when hives are this big, it's hard to find them. No, it's not a big deal. They make these, see these little things?
Yeah.
It's a little queen cup. They could do a queen cell in there. But you just call it a big nothing.
Okay.
You just call those things like a big nothing. The bees do it. I don't know why. They just like to have those around. This is all larvae over here floating in brood food or royal jelly, you can call it. Things to put through the bottom. That's like wax moth stuff. So it says maybe I put a yucky old frame in there and the bees cleaned it out. That's what I think that might be. But I'm going to get a slider board to go in the bottom, and we're going to find some mice.
Anybody else want to see the wax moth?
So see, on all my bottom boards, I made these, I designed them, and the slider just slides in like that. Now I'm going to get powdered sugar. We can sprinkle powdered sugar on the top, and it'll make the mites fall off. Okay. So I have a bucket of it.
Powdered sugar makes the mites fall off.
Mites.
Powdered sugar makes the mites fall off.
The malt sugar puts more sticks to the eggs and slide it out.
Just don't use the powdered sugar in baking after you use it for the mites.
I tried that one time and I got so many ants. It was like, I'm never doing that again. And I've never had a tracheal mite problem anyway. So secret. Might as well not.
Oh, that's just Costco powdered sugar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back in the olden days, like 2 years ago, I thought that maybe I could put enough powdered sugar on them to kill all the mites, but you can't. It's a good way to see if you have mites, but it's not a good way to count on actually killing them.
Now there's starch in the
Yes, but
Corn
I mean,
sugar,
there's so
but
little.
sugar.
There's so little, it's not going to hurt them. It's only if you're feeding them like
And
something.
this is a mite check process.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you have screen bottom boards, it's really easy to do this.
Okay.
A bunch of sugar-coated beans, man.
Maybe like 2 cups. I don't know.
And then do they clean themselves off?
Yeah, see how it's coating them?
Yeah.
So it makes them clean themselves off, and they groom, and it pulls the mites off too.
But they don't normally.
You got one trying to get clean on your
It's all powdered
Yeah,
up.
see, so this is another reason why I don't do this, because it's such a ridiculous mess. And then,
Well, we
I don't even know why.
appreciate that.
I'll deal with that later.
But this isn't sugar the bees can use.
See, now what's going to happen is I'm going to have tons of ants come. But anyway, you just brush it down.
Okay.
So you don't have any ant problems, it looks like, on these hives.
Not here, not so bad. I haven't seen very many ants this year. I think it might be the nosema killing the ants. I don't know.
They're all over my house.
Yeah, so maybe not. I don't know.
People.
I've had ants really bad last year.
We have the red ones. They're just tons of them.
But do they hurt the bees?
You said no.
I don't think so.
I mean, they don't seem to bother. We have a bee population.
It's these little tiny black ones that we have on the coast.
They're all white. Oh man, all these white bees are out here.
So I think we'll just give this hive like 10 minutes or something.
Okay.
And it'll give it time for the mites to fall off.
And for them to calm down and not.
And actually, I'm going to take a picture of this while I'm doing it. They're out flying. Imagine how much less there are.
Everybody's home.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Wow.
It's really nice to see them like this because I'm a novice and now I know what it looks like.
Yeah, this is what they should look like. There should be bees all over the top when you open the lid.
Okay.
And the more you see, the healthier it is.
Even when they're out, even when it's a great sunny
Yeah,
day.
on a sunny day, there should be a lot of bees. See,
Those look different.
they're a different color.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or this frame is different.
Oh, maybe.
This frame, look, they have a little bit of a honey
starting
flow
to
on.
dry.
See, there's some honey in here. So they have a slight honey flow on, and they're starting to draw out foundation. So you can just see, that's what nectar looks like.
Okay.
So let's go straight for my blue frame here.
Okay.
Oh,
So this is all drone brood.
Wow.
wow, that looks healthy.
So if I was going to kill the mites in this, I would just have a bucket here and I'd just scrape all this drone brood out. So when the drone brood looks like this, who was it that was wanting to do drone brood? So that's what it should look like. And that's how you control a lot of mites. And if you have a huge number of mites in your hive, there will actually be mites on the outside of these. You can see them crawling around.
Now, do you just cut all this drone stuff out,
that's
drop
just
it in the bucket,
What?
and you just cut all that?
Yeah, so I would just take my hive tool, and I should have brought a bucket so I could show you, but it just pops right off. You just go like that.
Yeah.
And it
then
goes in
stick
the
that
bucket.
back in, and
Mhm.
they'll draw out the whole foundation thing?
Yeah, stick it back in empty, and they'll draw a new sheet of drone brood within a couple of days.
Okay.
Well, the top part
And
is
you said
not
there were
drone
some
brood,
mites
it's honey.
crawling around on there?
I don't see any on this one. Yeah, so the top part of these frames, these are specially designed because the bees like to put honey at the top.
Oh, okay.
So I give them like 3 inches just to put honey or whatever.
And there's
That way I'm not
foundation
scraping
there?
off a bunch of honey every time I want to take out the drone brood. So this is just part of another frame that's just stapled on. Yeah, it's pretty easy to make. And this is how you can do drone brood removal at the goose in captive drone brood. So I could have, if there's a bunch of mites in the worker brood here, here's a great. This is just great. This is really great here. Look at this. I really like this. See, this is all capped worker brood. Oops.
Okay.
Yeah.
Starting to get mad.
So this is a beautiful frame of worker brood. Everything's perfect.
Wow.
The whole thing is full.
Wow. So, Jeremy, the hives
I might have you hold this while I take a picture.
The hives we got from you are going to have a frame.
Is that somebody?
Uh-oh.
I gotta take pictures of my
And why are we looking at this one over here?
You just hold this one back.
Yeah.
Honey, little drop of honey.
Couple drops.
Sorry.
Like on the edge, then you just kind of pull it out, get out of the way, then you got room to work with all the other ones.
Okay, okay.
And stick it in last.
That was one he put in.
Right here.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did I do?
not really. This year I was actually overwhelmed. I had way too much to do this year. Normally I can do it all myself, though.
Like have a baby?
Yeah, I had a baby this year. Like 6 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
So,
Oh, you're just starting to get your sleep back, huh?
yeah, it's been crazy.
Yeah. 25 years.
When
It
they're
takes
30
a long
years
time to
old,
get
it
it.
comes back.
Yeah.
Well, I'm only 25, so I figure I'm getting it out of the way sooner so I can have more sleep later. I don't know.
I don't know.
So these are just empty frames. They can be removed. It's just foundation, and that's just an empty frame. So you just shake the bees off, and then I'll probably put the feeder on this side so that I don't have to like bend way over there to deal with it. So I can probably.
Move the drone then?
Actually, maybe I'll just take out these two and put them there.
So I got my bees a month ago, and now I'm gonna open it up, shake them off, start feeding them.
Yeah, maybe just open it up and see how it's doing. See if there's. Make sure there's eggs and brood.
So that's all honey and their...
Yeah, so this is just an old frame of honey. It's probably from last year. And this is fresh honey. See, this is drone brood here, but they have honey in there instead of drone brood. It's a drone-sized frame. They're bigger. But so if they ran out of honey, they might lay... the queen might go over there and raise a bunch of drones right there. And the beekeeper would never know if you're not checking your hives. And you could be just raising cycle after cycle of mites and drone brood if you have a bunch of this.
Do they eat old honey?
Yeah.
They will kick those drones out in the winter, won't they?
Yeah, they eliminate the drones usually in October.
Yeah, it's that exclusive girl club thing when the winter time comes.
Yeah, because the drones are just wasting resources, kind of. Because there's not going to be any queens mating in the winter, although they can. So there's more brood. Yeah, just getting capped over. Maybe yesterday and today. I have a few hives that are small where we can definitely find her. I don't think we're going to find it in this hive. We'll just feed this one, then we'll find the queen in the other hive. I just have to make room here.
So when you're moving those frames over toward yourself, you're not squishing any bees in there because the bees
Not a whole lot because these little
keeping
things
that
are...
bee
Yeah.
space there.
Yeah,
Okay.
and this is messing it all up.
We hold that frame
It
for
just
you.
gets like this when you have so many hives that you can't scrape it out routinely, you know. And also the bees are doing a lot of propolis right now, so this is actually worse than it was a couple weeks ago because there's kind of a lull right now. So the bees don't have anything else to do, so they're bringing propolis in. I got a really good picture of a bee that has propolis attached on its pollen baskets on its legs. You don't see that very often. I got a good picture of it. Propolis, it's supposed to be good for them. It's a hassle for the beekeeper, but it's supposed to be like antibacterial for the beehive.
Just crap. Just now they're happy.
You're really messing with them. Yeah. They're being sensational.
Now there's room for a feeder.
They're getting them back.
So the feeder will fit in. You take out one frame.
I took out two right there, but sometimes they fit if you take out one.
Okay.
It looks like in this one, in this one there's not quite enough room for another frame. So these are those little in-hive feeders I was talking about. Very handy.
So that's something else we really need.
Yeah, you can order them from that Daydant place.
And you just
They're
stick
like $2.
some wax in there and that floats in
Yeah,
the
I don't really have any wax on this one, so
That would have the edges.
maybe I'll...
There's some
Yeah,
that,
this wax if it's on the ground.
okay.
So the idea is to give them something they can get out.
Yeah, they just have something to crawl around on, because they have to go way down there, because it's going to get lower and lower as they consume it.
Sticks?
Yeah, sticks are good. Grass is good. Honeycomb is the best. It's best if this hive had a bunch of honeycomb that I scraped out and put it in. I don't mix honeycomb out of this hive with honeycomb from this hive, unless I'm actually moving a frame of brood or something. Then
Just 2 to 1?
no, this is just as much sugar as I had, but
Okay.
I don't think it's 2 to 1.
Can you fill them up all the way?
Yeah, just fill it all the way.
Now, when you make it like in a 5-gallon bucket like that, can you fill it like halfway with water and the rest with sugar? Or?
I start with sugar first. So I fill it like 3/4 of the way with sugar, and then I put water in until it's full enough. But you have to stir it really good, or else you end up with a thick film of sugar on the bottom. It's almost impossible to mix in. It just, I don't know what happens. It just sticks together.
need to boil the water to make the sugar dissolve?
And they'll bring a tank in, and they'll have a pump attached to it, so they just have a hose and fill each one with a hose. It's much easier.
About how much does that hold?
I think a little under a gallon,
Okay.
like 3/4 gallon or something. But pretty much, if there was something wrong here, and I just wanted to make sure the hives kept eating sugar, I'd just maybe fill it once a week.
And right now, let's see, you said when you go on a lighter dilution, you get more honey production. When you go on a thicker production
Yeah.
of honey.
Yeah, so if you're doing it lighter, there's more water in there versus sugar.
Right.
And when the bees make the honey, you don't really want to be eating honey from sugar beets.
Correct.
But you can.
Correct. Yeah.
You know, it doesn't taste good. But it makes the bees have to find a lot of space in their hive because they have to actually lay all that sugar syrup out, and they have to evaporate the water out of it, and that takes a lot of surface area. So if you're using very light sugar syrup, they'll have to fill this whole thing up with very thin syrup, and they'll have to sit there and fan it for a long time. So that forces them to draw this whole thing out with wax. So it's good, you got the whole thing drawn out, you don't have to worry about that anymore. But it's bad in the sense that they're wasting their time doing that if you really just wanted to medicate them. If you really just wanted them to get healthier because of it.
Yes. Okay.
So it depends on what your objective is.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Find it. Maybe it doesn't have one though. So these
Because
are
she's
my,
not leaving, right?
these are like my problem hives.
These are the smaller hives?
Yes, this is like a. Oh, this has a queen. I see brood. So we just have to find her. Oops.
Why do you have the newspaper in the front?
Well, since it was so small,
You just trying
and this was one of the ones that was for sale. Oops.
This is one of the ones before.
I was plugging up the entrance.
Oh, you want to keep
It's to keep robber bees out.
put a sign up.
Yeah.
No beach
That'd be cute.
No robbery, no robbery.
Do not trespass.
Mhm. Put a second one for it, and then you have another one and a second one for it.
Yeah.
No.
Queen on that.
And what's oh, it doesn't, just a big
I think
fat
that
drone,
might
huh?
be a paralysis. Acute bee paralysis.
I just got bit under my veil.
Sorry.
This hive is acting so weird. See how they're all bunching up right here? It makes it hard to find a queen bee in a hive like this.
And you're saying they're acting weird?
Well, see how they're just all agitated like that?
Well, there's no smoke in your smoker.
It makes it no fun to examine a hive. Well, they still respond though, even if there's just the smell
Oh.
of smoke. So it doesn't matter if the smoker's lit or not. This hive is just a pain.
Why is the top gray and the sides kind of...
Because that was the paint that I had. I got it for like $5 for 5 gallons.
Okay.
Everything's all trying themselves up. Yeah,
What
uh-huh.
is this thing right
Trying
here?
to hide you because everyone was circled over
It's like
there.
a cicada or something. I don't know what that is.
A little busy.
I don't know if we're going to find a queen because there's no sun out, but there's plenty of queens like on the internet pictures.
Yeah.
See, look how agitated this is. How I don't know how I can examine this without getting sun. Well, I know a hive where I can find it. I can find it in one of my small hives.